Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Trimcraft Tuesday video. This week I am doing some Christmas scrapbooking with first edition Perfect Christmas. This one's a really traditional paper pad and I just love all the traditional colours really. Like I like doing the modern ones, but really in my heart I love a bit of traditional Christmas. So my main paper is the wood grain paper from this pad, and it's not just a wood grain, it is a textured wood grain, yum, drool. Anyways, and then I've also pre-cut on my silhouette that sort of, I think it's a holly branch, but we're just going to pretend it's a Christmas tree branch for the sake of the layout. And also these baubles, I have cut them obviously with papers from Perfect Christmas. The cut files are, the branch I think is a Paige Evans. The baubles I have had in my silhouette library for a long time, so I'm not entirely sure where those are from. But with the baubles, I'm going to back those with some of the Craft Gold mirror cards. Now obviously I could have cut the shape on my silhouette and just backed it like that without having to trace and whatnot, but my silhouette and I were not talking that day. We were not getting on very well, and I was just like, after cutting those bits I was done with it, so I just decided to back them the old-fashioned way of just, you know, doing the tracing and then backing them like that. I did error slightly on the first bauble in that it was supposed to be the green side that was at the front and I did it the wrong way around, whoopsie, so I had to flip over one of the other ones and go with that sort of white holly colour, which is this bauble that I'm doing right now, just so I had, you know, one different colour. Now I'm going to glue down my holly branchy thing, whatever we're calling it. I'm doing 3 pictures on this layout, which is kind of unlike me, but yes, I'll talk about the pictures in a minute and just tell you what I'm doing now. I've just sticking down my baubles just with one little glue dot to keep them in place, because I'm going to do some stitching to have them sort of hanging from the tree / branch kind of thing. And I'm just using my T-square there to make sure my stitch lines, stitch holes are nice and straight, because I'm not very good at doing that freehand. And then I'm going to stitch with some metallic gold thread. I can't tell you where this is from because I picked it up from a local craft store. I'm not sure if I will buy it again, because as pretty as it is a pain in the behind to work with, because normally with like embroidery thread you get your 6 strands, and because it's, you know, it's a cottony thread kind of thing, they kind of stick together. Because these are metallic, the 6 strands just fall apart from each other, and it is really difficult to thread it, and you have to go really slowly and carefully when you're actually stitching, because with those strands coming apart they knot easily and stuff. But anyway, I did it and I think it's worth it because it looks really pretty, but just to warn you, it is more effort than using normal embroidery thread, shall we say. But yes, so I will spare the pain of watching me doing all that stitching, just a simple back stitch on each one of them, going up to that branch like that. And then for the branch cut file, I decided not to back it, partly because I couldn't really be bothered, but also because I kind of wanted a different effect for once with a cut file, like not always backing them. So I'm taking some Nouveau embellishment mousse in Sea Spray Green, I think, just taking a little bit, mixed it with a lot of water to basically make a metallic watercolour, and then just filling in all the leaves and the main part of the branch with that. Now it did take me some time, obviously. I'm using a teeny tiny little brush. It's not perfect, some of the paint gets onto, you know, the paper and stuff, but perfect is never something that I aim for. I did do 2 layers of it as well, because of the textured paper it did soak in a little bit kind of thing, but with 2 layers it was fine. And some bits are darker than others, but I think that makes it look more quote unquote realistic. Now I wanted to add a little bit of gilding flakes, whatever you call them, around the edges in a sort of, I just wanted to add a lot of gold to this layout, but I made a slight error and I used the wrong glue, because obviously you have to have some sort of tackiness for the gilding flakes to stick to, and I have been testing all my many different adhesives and found that the dot and dab glue stick's really good for that. However, not one of them is not. There's 2 dot and dab glue sticks. One is clear and one is white, and it's the white one that's good with gilding flakes and the clear one not so much, and I accidentally used the clear one, so it didn't go on perfectly. But it's actually not too much of a bother for me, because I kind of wanted it to be a bit patchy and rustic kind of thing. Anyway, I go back and do a little bit more of it eventually. I just like took a break for a minute to back my photos. So yeah, 3 photos. They are all of my little brother Sam opening presents last year. Every year, little tradition, we go to a very close family friends and have like a Christmas meal, a little present opening session, and Sam, bless him, absolutely loves it. He sits on the biggest, most comfortable chair in the room, obviously, and opens all his presents from her. And yeah, I got lots and lots of photos last year of that happening. And so yes, I have dozens and dozens from like the same 20 minutes of present opening. So I had to choose 3, which was really difficult. So chose my 3 faves. One of them, the big one, is actually like all arty-farty photography for me, because like it's the tree that's in focus and then Sam out of focus in the background. But so that's why I kind of wanted to use that one, but then 2 other photos where you can actually see what's going on. But yeah, just nice Christmassy little photos like that. And if you look closely, you can see more like Christmas decoration in the background and stuff. So I added some more like patchy gilding flakes. I'd figured out I'd used the wrong glue stick, so I used the right one this time. You could tell at the top it's a little bit better than at the bottom down there. And then I also, after backing my photos, each with 2 layers of various papers from the paper pad, I mostly went with my scraps. I went around the edges of those with some gold ink. I spent an awful long time figuring out how I wanted to lay out my photos, like ages and ages and ages. Obviously I've cut that out because it's very boring to watch, but eventually I stuck on this position here. I think I wanted them to all be in the same space rather than really spread out around the layout and hiding the baubles and stuff. So yeah, I'm happy with how I decided to have those. For my title, I'm going to call it Christmas Cheer, and for the word Christmas, I'm using these Simply Creative like Christmassy Scrabble tiles and just going through and finding the right letters, because I wanted to alternate between the red and green. And the cheer comes from that crepe paper thicker pack, the puffy gold thickers. Once I realised I was using Christmas cheer, I was like, oh, maybe I can use that quote from Elf, you know, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear, because I flipping loved that movie. But then I was like, that's just not going to relate to the layout of the pictures at all. There is no singing whatsoever going on. So I was just like, I'll just stick with Christmas cheer, and maybe I'll use the whole quote as a title in something else. This is where I noticed that I didn't have an M. I had an upside down W. Well done there, Grace. But at least I noticed. So I had to go quickly find myself another M there. And then just sticking down the chair again. I couldn't decide on where exactly I wanted to place that, and fiddled around with it for ages, but eventually settled on there where it's kind of overlapping 2 of the photos. I'm not going to embellish this layout very much at all, just like a teensy tiny bit. I think there's enough going on that I don't need a lot of embellishment. So just that little gold bow, some of these little gold stars, which are from a Simply Creative sticker pack last year. Oh, okay, I did add some more ink around where I use the gilding flakes, by the way. I'm doing it again now. I think it's because I had lots of different golds on this layout. Like there was a dark one from the mirror card, and then the really light one from that thicker title. So I added that ink pad, just blotching it on there to have, again, different types and levels. That's not the right word. You know what I mean. Different types of gold on there. Of course, flicking on some Heidi Swap Gold Colour Shine, because obviously on this layout it was needed. And I think off camera as well, it cut out and I hadn't realised, but I added a teensy bit of Colour Shine also in mint, because I felt like there needed to just be a tiny bit more green on this layout. And then I'm going to finish off by putting Nouveau drops in a little space for the holly berries on that branch. I'm using the colour Autumn Red, which I only recently received as a birthday present, so shout out to my friend Maddie for getting me that, because it was the perfect colour for this layout. It just, it's really like a rich red, and it works perfectly with the other reds on the layout. I was very pleased about that. And there we go, layout is finished. So thank you so much as always for watching. I know we are very close to Christmas now, but I will link the paper pad if you are interested, probably on sale by now as well. Next Tuesday, as I'm sure you well know, is Christmas Day, so I'm not going to have a Trimcraft Tuesday next week, but I might have another Trimcraft project at another point in the week. We will see how this week goes with all the 4 bajillion things I need to get done, and I'm sure you need to get done as well. But yes, okay, that's quite enough from me. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, chat to me in the comments, and yeah, okay, going. Thanks again. Bye bye.